It's medal winning, it's haunted, it has good bitterness. Today we're drinking Ghost Ship. Hi guys, it's Jim here from drtankenstein.com with another episode of Beers of the British Isles. On today's episode, we are drinking the hauntingly good Ghost Ship from Adnams brewery. This beer I bought from Tesco and it was £1.70, which is just slightly cheaper than usual, I guess. Normally a single beer about £1.80, a little bit cheaper, weird. It's still included in all the 4 for 6 or whatever the particular offer is at the time. 4.5% alcohol, nice, I like it. Coming in under 5% means you can have a few of them. And it's 40 IBUs. At 4.5% alcohol, 40 IBUs seems like a lot. So let's see if this hauntingly good pale ale is going to be spookily bitter. Which, by the way, they really hit those kind of, on the bottle and stuff like that, they really hit those kind of ghost-themed puns, I guess, or descriptions. So this beer, this is a pale ale. I guess, like by the looks of it, it looks like it's going to be an English pale ale. So, you know, it's a 500ml bottle, kind of big. Not particularly crafty looking. You think it's going to be an English pale ale. But if you read the hop profile, it has Citra and other American hops. Very descriptive. So I guess it's not an English pale ale. I don't know. Of course, the style isn't just reliant on the origin of the hops, but if you're using basically exclusively American hops, that kind of tends to lead you in one direction. So Citra and other American hops, this is going to be citrusy, I guess, and it basically says so on the bottle. It's a citrus pale ale. Now, the malt bill for this is quite interesting. I didn't expect to see this. So it has the standard, you know, pale malt, crystal malt, caramel malt for body, but it also has rye malt or rye crystal malt. Now, in a pale ale, what you're really looking for is very hop tasting, like hop forward flavor. Kind of a subtly sweet malt profile, and kind of a good bitterness. Like I said at the beginning, good bitterness. That's how this is described. Rye malt is kind of it's a very strange malt. Rye is a grain it's not barley, it's not wheat, it's its own thing. Rye is its own kind of grain. And it brings with it this sort of spicy, herbaceous character that isn't a hop character. It's its own thing. It's very interesting. It's very distinct and very flavorful. So I'm really interested to see how the rye flavor fits into what I'm imagining would be sort of a biscuity malt character. I'm interested to see how that rye malt fits in, if at all, or if it's just something that they've used with no consideration to the flavor. I've said enough. Let's dig in and see what we've got. We're in the glass, we're cold, we've got a dissipated head. Let's see what we've got. So the head has fallen apart there basically, and I don't know if you can blame that on my glasses. I know I'm always very apologetic of my kind of, I don't know, pretentious craft beer wine glasses that I've got here. I'm not sure you can blame that on that because it was never too strong to begin with. So head retention, not great so far. The colour is very interesting. The colour, if you can see, The colour's much darker than I was imagining. It's not amber, but it's very it's bordering on amber. It's I would say a golden amber. So it's a pale ale like this, you would imagine sort of just a shade lighter. Whether that's the rye, I don't know. I know I'm going on about this rye, but it's really not that common to see in a beer such as this. So the aroma, I did smell the beer as soon as I opened it. So let's just, the aroma, yeah, it is citrusy, but not too sharp. The overwhelming thing that comes through with the aroma of this beer, interestingly and quite surprisingly, is you get a yeast character. It's not estery. It's almost it's not estery. It's not oxidized. What is that? It's almost like that sort of papery yeast aroma. It's the most prominent thing, but it's not overwhelming. It doesn't put you off. You can still smell all those citrus hops and almost even just a touch of mango in the aroma. Am I correct about that? Yeah, I stand by that. Citrus, quite a yeasty character, but if you really look for it, there is mango in there, which is quite cool. So let's dig in. Not too bitter going in there. So not too bitter, quite rounded, well carbonated, not too bitter, not too sweet, quite well balanced actually. What I will say is the initial flavor that you get going in is not that strong. After you've swallowed, however, that citrus from, the description, I guess, the citrus pale ale really shines through in the aftertaste, not so much the forefront, but the aftertaste. Yeah, quite well balanced. I will say it's on the bitter side. I always go on about this bitterness to alcohol or bitterness to gravity ratio. I guess that only goes so far because the ratio for this is quite high. It's kind of bordering on 0.91, I would imagine, but it is still only 40 IBUs. So I guess, to a certain extent, the bitterness is kind of still quite soft or quite low in this. Yeah, citrus. Almost no malt flavor at all, I think, in this. I was imagining something a little bit biscuity, a little bit bready, but if I'm honest, the malt's quite lacking. Adnams Brewery are based in Southwold, which I definitely had to look up. This is in Suffolk. It's a coastal town, and so all their beers are kind of nautical themed. We've got Ghost Ship, there's Broadside. They're all kind of nautical themed. Seaside towns tend to be really proud of their nautical heritage, and these guys are very much that. It seems like they've almost been a mainstay in the town, like a big feature in the town for a lot of years. So this brewery was founded in the 1800s. So I guess Southwold has kind of grew up with this beer. I mean, 1800s is older than some countries, If you go on their website and try and do a bit of research, they're almost like I get the feeling that these guys are a traditional English brewery that are trying to sort of modernize themselves. They've got these American hops in their pale ale. They've got rye malt. They're trying new things. They're really trying to modernize themselves, and their website is a very modern looking website. but it's funny and a little bit sad as well, I guess, because they're such an old brewery. If you read their history, it's like it's a real roller coaster. So it's like 1872, the brewery was founded. 1880, one of the founders was eaten by a crocodile. 1912, we made such amount of money. 1914, war hits. You know, it's kind of like, it's a real up and down, and that is not a reflection of the brewery. I just think them being so honest in their history is it kind of brought a smile to my face, because I mean, to have been doing this for what, 150 years now, you're gonna come across some tragedy, and it's good that they embrace that and just live their history as it is. Ghost Ship. How am I going to sum it up? Is it hauntingly good? Is it spookily bitter? Or does it just have good bitterness? So this is advertised as a citrus pale ale, and it has basically all American hops. What I'm going to say is, I think it's an English pale ale. I said from the start that there's a certain yeast character to it, which is fine in an English beer. American beers tend to steer clear of that yeast note. English beers are fine. I'm fine with that in an English ale. So aroma, citrusy, obviously citrus on the lemon side of citrus. So it's not super sharp, but it's definitely there. So citrus aroma, yeast. There's almost more malt character in the aroma than there actually is in the flavor, I think. Yeah, so it advertises its rye crystal malt. And like I said, maybe I'm just not familiar with rye crystal. Maybe it's a different thing than what I'm thinking of, but there is not one iota of rye character in that I can detect. Maybe I'm wrong. Comments below, please, if I'm wrong on that one. But I would say that the prominent feature of this beer is its yeast character, which isn't a bad one, and its citrus aftertaste. Not its citrus flavor, but its citrus aftertaste. All in all, it's quite a refreshing beer. You know, it's not super carbonated, it's not super bitter. It's almost that sort of well-balanced English pale ale. I think that's exactly what it is. It's exactly what it says in the tin. It's a pale ale. It's citrusy. Would I say it's a citrus pale ale? I don't know. I probably wouldn't go bragging too much about that. I'm not going to rate it out of 10, but what I will say that if this beer were a song, it would be The Seven Seas of Rye by Queen. That's a song that is nautical, seven seas. It has rye in it, much like this claims to, and it's a great song, but it's not really anyone's favorite. And I think that's where we are with this beer. So guys, head down to Tesco, any supermarket really, grab yourself a Ghost Ship and let me know what you think. If you like this beer, get it down to your bottle shop, tell them that you like it and that you want something similar, and they'll definitely have something to suit your palate. In the meantime, guys, cheers.